faithfully delivering value and interpreting great books from around the world. Hi, this is Sally Book Talk. Today I'll be interpreting the book, What Should We Eat This Year, for you. The subtitle is A Story of Four Seasons of Dining in a Tokyo Family. In recent years, Japanese cuisine has been super popular. People think it's not only delicious, but also really healthy. So, what did Japanese folks usually eat? What dishes are on their table for welcoming the new year? What are the tricks to eating sushi? Besides sashimi, what else do Japanese people eat? How can you make oden at home? Do you know the answers to these questions? Feel free to leave us comments in the comment section below. If you don't know, this book will take you on a journey to find out. So, the author of this book, Arai Hifumi, is a Japanese female writer. Born in 1962, she studied in China for 2 years during her time at the University of Tokyo, visiting places like Northeast China, Inner Mongolia, Yunnan, and Hainan. And she's also traveled the world, moved to Canada, and writes fluently in English. In 1997, Arai Hifumi returned to Japan, became a lecturer at Meiji University, and focused on writing in Chinese, publishing several essay collections. Arai is a big food enthusiast and has published books introducing Tokyo's culinary scene. Welcome to Tokyo Shokudo. The book we're discussing today is What Should We Eat This Year? Arai's work is well featured in it. Well, articles written from March 2019 to February 2020, covering each month from January to December, introduce Tokyo family dining. For Arai, food isn't just material, it's a bridge across time, reflecting the dining life through the four seasons. Especially after the COVID-19 outbreak, people eat at home more, making 3 meals a day super important. Next, I'll guide you through what Tokyo residents eat all year round in chronological order. Let's start with the New Year. Japan's New Year begins on January 1st each year. On that day, Japanese families gather to eat osechi ryori, which is the traditional New Year's feast. In the past, housewives would start making osechi ryori on December 28th, packing the dishes in 2 or 3 tiered square lacquer boxes to save for New Year's morning. Eating the New Year's feast. The dishes mainly include various braised stews and dried goods, like shiitake mushrooms, lotus root, taro, and konbu rolls. Traditionally, Japanese families eat cold foods from January 1st to 3rd, without cooking fires. To prevent spoilage, they use tons of salt or sugar, so most dishes end up either too sweet or too salty. Plus, they eat the same thing for 3 straight days. Modern Japanese people aren't as respectful of traditions anymore. For example, in author Arai's family, aside from some highly symbolic dishes like vinegar-marinated octopus and sea bream sashimi, which are always included in the osechi ryori menu. Is it herring roe? Herring is a fish living in colder northern seas. It has a flat, elongated body, gray-black back, silvery white belly, and gathers in groups near the shore to spawn. Herring roe is an important New Year dish for Japanese people. The method involves soaking the roe in salt water of the same concentration as seawater to slowly remove the salt. During this process, you need to change the water every 2 hours and slowly peel off the white membrane of the herring roe by hand until after 6 to 8 hours, the salt is mostly removed. And then soak the herring roe in a mixed seasoning made with bonito flakes, mirin, and soy sauce. In Japan, during the 1960s and 70s, herring roe was called yellow diamond and was considered the king of fish roe, a top choice for companies to gift to important clients. Especially in December, once the market supply of herring roe can't meet demand, prices soar, making it as precious as jewelry. In the grand scheme of Japanese New Year cuisine, herring roe represents the beautiful wish for prosperous descendants. For modern Japanese people, osechi ryori is no longer just a festive delicacy eagerly awaited all year. It's a dish that, through making and eating it, makes one feel the meaning of the new year. This includes both looking back on the past and looking forward to the future, encompassing the continuity of life and the infinity of time. After the new year, spring arrives quickly. In March in Tokyo, to taste the flavors of early spring, you can go to wagashi shops. Wagashi refers to Japanese confections made mainly from sugar, glutinous rice, and azuki beans. The author mainly introduces two types of spring wagashi. One is called takomochi. It involves grinding glutinous rice into flour, cooking it with sugar and water, wrapping it around red bean paste, and finally coating it with green bean flour. The method is similar to Chinese rice cakes. It's softer than mochi and shaped into a slightly elongated oval to mimic a bird. In Japan, taka is also known as the harbinger of spring bird. Eating takamochi signals that spring has arrived. After finishing takamochi, it's time for sakura mochi. Sakura mochi, with sakura, meaning cherry blossom, is also a sweet made by wrapping red bean paste in glutinous rice. The unique thing about sakura mochi is that it's wrapped in salted young cherry tree leaves. Sakura mochi mainly comes in two types. One originated from Chomeiji Temple in Mukojima, Tokyo. In Mukojima, opposite Asakusa at the foot of the Tokyo Sky Tree, there's a Buddhist temple called Chomeiji. In 1717, a gatekeeper named Yamamoto Shinroku at that temple saw cherry tree leaves falling like heavy snow, so he collected them, washed them clean, and salted them. The next spring, Yamamoto wrapped bean paste cakes with the leaves and sold them to tourists going to Asakusa for flower viewing. They were popular, so he opened Yamamoto Dashiya, which has specialized in sakura mochi for over 300 years. Oh. Now, one sakura mochi costs 200 yen, about 10 Chinese yuan, making it quite affordable. Many kids in Tokyo grew up eating sakura mochi. As the original, Yamamoto Dashiya sakura mochi differs from many modern ones. It's not dyed pink with food coloring like cherry blossoms, but is white. Additionally, regarding the cherry tree leaves, Yamamoto Ya's successor says the leaves add fragrance and prevent the cake from drying out, so you should peel them off when eating. Now, but many Japanese people eat the leaf together with the cake inside. The second type of sakura mochi is domyoji sakura mochi from Osaka. Domyoji is located in the southeast of Osaka and is said to be the birthplace of domyoji flour. Domyoji flour is also a type of glutinous rice flour. After soaking glutinous rice, it's steamed, dried, and ground into powder. Domyoji flour can be eaten just by adding water. In the past, it was used as military rations, but now it's used to make wagashi. Sakura mochi made with domyoji flour has a sticky, chewy texture, and you can smell the unique fragrance of sakura mochi even through the cherry leaf. The author explains that both types of sakura mochi are named after temples because in the past, when people went out, they often visited temples for worship while enjoying flowers and scenery. Tea shops at temple gates would sell sweets to visitors, and that's how the name spread. There are many seasonal foods to eat in spring Japan. For example, this is the season for shellfish. The most commonly eaten shellfish by Japanese is clams, usually steamed with sake or miso soup, or made into Western-style dishes, like clam chowder or clam pasta. When the author was a child in spring, her whole family often went to Tokyo Bay Beach, which is near today's Disneyland. They would wait for the tide to go out, dig clams with small shovels, and bring them home to cook delicious meals. However, clams can't be eaten raw. There are many shellfish that can be made into sushi and eaten raw. There are many shellfish, like art clams and oide clams, the latter also called bakagai, foolish clam. Friends who know some Japanese probably know that baka means fool in Japanese. Oyagi clams got this nickname because they often stick out their foot, like someone sticking out their tongue looking silly. This shellfish indeed has a disproportionately large foot that's great to eat. Besides sushi, it can be cooked with scallions. It's eaten mixed with miso paste that has vinegar and wasabi added. Entering May with the arrival of the Dragon Boat Festival, early summer quietly arrives. During the festival, Japan also eats a wagashi called kashiwa mochi, with kashiwa meaning oak tree. In Japan, two leaf-wrapped sweets exist: March's sakura mochi and kashiwa mochi, which uses oak leaves. Kashiwa mochi is made from Japonica rice flour. Fillings include regular red bean paste and white bean paste with white miso and sugar. Japan has many wagashi, but only kashiwa mochi uses miso. This might relate to its Edo period origins with Tokugawa Ieyasu. Tokugawa's homeland, Mikawa, now Aichi Prefecture, is a famous miso region. Many foods there use miso seasoning, like miso pork cutlets or wagyu beef coated with miso at yakiniku restaurants. This seasoning is mainly soybeans fermented with salt and different koji molds. Rich in protein, vitamins, and minerals, it was once vital nutrition for samurai. After Tokugawa unified Japan, miso eating habits, including kashiwa mochi, spread from samurai to common people. As the author notes, oak leaves fall only after new buds emerge, symbolizing family continuity, fitting Tokugawa's preferences. Summer's also bonito season. Bonito are migratory fish found worldwide in temperate seas, about 1 meter long, spindle-shaped with smooth, scaleless skin. Each summer they swim to Japan's southern Shikoku region, then northward. By autumn, they return to Miyagi Prefecture waters. Japanese call early summer bonito hatsugutsu. Since the Edo period, common folk considered seeing May greenery, hearing cuckoos, and eating fresh bonito as ideal living. Folks even say Hatsumono, first harvest, adds 75 days to your life, meaning eating freshly harvested foods can extend one's lifespan by 75 days. Bonito can be eaten raw, steamed, or dried thoroughly to become katsuobushi, din shavings used for dashi broth or as toppings on takoyaki. Since bonito has a strong flavor when eaten as sashimi, it's often paired not just with wasabi, but also ginger paste and garlic paste for an extra kick. Also, bonito can be made into hand-pressed sushi. Slice fresh bonito, briefly soak in soy sauce, then place over white rice or vinegared rice. Given bonito's bold taste, you can add sesame oil or mirin to the soy sauce. Mirin is a seasoning similar to rice wine in Japanese cuisine. Sweet, great for enhancing umami and removing fishiness. The author's tip: for hand-pressed sushi, bonito slices don't need to be perfectly cut like sashimi. Irregular shapes hold more seasoning and create delightful surprises. Since we're on sushi, let's digress a bit. The vinegar-pickled young ginger slices served with sushi are made by thinly slicing young ginger, salting it first, then soaking in white vinegar with sugar and salt. The author believes that though sushi is Japan's top dish, it's essentially just placing raw fish on a vinegared rice ball and pressing it. Only 2 ingredients, raw fish and vinegared rice. The sides served with sushi, like nori, wasabi, and pickled ginger, actually play crucial roles. For example, after eating one sushi, holding a ginger slice in your mouth clears any fishy aftertaste. Then you're ready for the next piece. Plus, the ginger slices have a practical function, helping to apply soy sauce. Like with gunkan maki sushi, where nori wraps around loose ingredients like salmon roe. If you tilt the whole sushi to dip the roe into soy sauce, the roe will likely fall off. Using a ginger slice as a little brush to lightly coat the roe with soy sauce solves this perfectly. The author learned this from her father, a former sushi chef. Even many Japanese don't know this trick. Summer is abundant with food. All kinds of fruits and veggies are in season. And let's talk about eggplants now. They're tasty but soak up lots of oil. How to cook them with less oil. The book introduces Rikyu eggplant recipe. Rikyu refers to Sen no Rikyu, founder of Japanese tea ceremony. He lived in the 16th century, serving tea to Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, 2 of Japan's 3 great unifiers. He founded the renowned wabi-cha tea style and democratized tea ceremony from aristocracy to commoners. Rikyu also created recipes like this simple, delicious eggplant dish. Peel eggplant, dice, stir fry with sesame oil, add sake, simmer on low until tender. Once cooled slightly, mix in miso, sesame paste, soy sauce, vinegar, and sugar. In summer, another must-eat is eel. Japan has doyo no oshi tradition, eating eel during the 18 days before each season's start. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, meaning 4 annual periods. Ushi Day, Ox Day, is determined by the Chinese zodiac cycle. Traditionally, days were counted in 12-day zodiac cycles, Ushi being 1 day per cycle. Historically, Japanese ate eel in winter for nourishment. In 18th century Edo, an eel shop hired scholar Hiraga Gainai for summer marketing. He wrote, "Today is Doyo Ushi" on a banner, drawing crowds. Since then, Japanese consider the 18 pre-autumn days most crucial. Eating eel on Ushi Day during Doyo became essential. Raw eel blood contains a toxic compound. Consumption can cause vomiting, breathing difficulties, or even fatal poisoning in large quantities. Hence, eel is rarely eaten raw. Beyond classic kabayaki, grilled with sauce, there's shirayaki, plain grilled eel with wasabi soy dip, or dishes like eel omelet and chilled eel cucumber salad. Recently, though, eel prices in Japan have soared. Prices doubled in a decade. A meal now costs 4,000, 5,000 yen per person, approximately 250 Chinese yuan. Eel takes hours to prepare but minutes to eat, with post-meal satisfaction often less than Italian cuisine or conveyor belt sushi. All right, having covered summer, let's explore autumn dining in Tokyo. First, takikomi gohan. Taki meaning steamed, a rice dish similar to clay pot rice. But clay pot rice usually adds ingredients when the rice is 70% cooked, while takikomi gohan mixes ingredients and seasonings like soy sauce, kelp, salt, and sake with rice before cooking, sometimes adding mirin for sweetness. The contents vary with seasonal ingredients. For example, bamboo shoot rice in spring, pea rice in summer, and chestnut or mushroom rice in autumn. Autumn's chestnut rice is the most labor-intensive but beloved. You must soak chestnuts in warm water, then painstakingly remove both shells and inner skins, taking half a day. Another autumn must-try is matsutake rice. The author calls matsutake rice autumn's flavor king. Matsutake slices resting on light brown rice offer a unique aroma and texture unlike other mushrooms. The author often eats it during kabuki performances. The intermission bento includes teriyaki chicken, boiled shrimp, fish roe, squid salad, crab, tempura, and autumn centerpiece. Matsutake rice. The main dish is matsutake rice. Matsutake's status in Japanese cuisine is like kabuki, universally known yet somewhat unattainable. Just 2 to 3 matsutake, about 100 grams, costs over 10,000 yen, approximately 500 Chinese yuan, if Japanese grown. Imported is cheaper but still pricier than wagyu or eel. So even for middle-class Japanese families, matsutake isn't an annual treat. When feeling indulgent, they buy a small basket and special earthenware to make matsutake doben mushi soup. This soup, with matsutake, shrimp, ginkgo, and eel, costs more than wagyu steak, creating cherished yearly memories. By October, Japanese salmon arrives in markets. While Norway, Chilean Atlantic salmon is eaten raw as sashimi, traditional Japanese silver salmon requires cooking, only fresh in autumn, hence called akidashi, autumn salmon. It can be pan-seared in butter or foil roasted. Place salmon on onion, king oyster mushrooms, and carrots. Add sake and soy sauce, seal foil, bake at 200 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes, a Hokkaido method. Another method is miso-yaki. First mix white miso with sake and sugar for sauce, then marinate salmon chunks with salt and pepper. Heat oil in a pan. Start frying salmon skin side down. Add carrots, onions, and other veggies until tender. Pour in miso sauce and cream, cover and simmer on low for 2 to 3 minutes. All right, having covered autumn cuisine, let's finally discuss winter dishes. Nothing warms body and soul in deep winter like steaming hot nabemono, hot pot dishes. So the author shares, once on a flight, a Hong Kong neighbor asked, "Does Japan only have one kind of soup?" He meant miso soup. The author explained varieties: wakame miso, assorted miso, tofu miso, plus red versus white miso differences. Red miso ferments longer with more salt, tastes saltier. White miso ferments shorter, sweeter. But the author admits, compared to Hong Kong soup masters, Japanese soups are simpler. Most Japanese broths use quick-flavored dashi, kombu, kelp, and katsuobushi flakes. Add veggies or tofu, simmer briefly, finally stir in miso off heat to preserve aroma. Easy but limited variation, lacking meat. The author recalls childhood winters. Her father ate yuta food daily to tofu simmered in kombu broth with just cabbage or scallions. Cod chunks were luxury. She believes most Japanese still don't simmer chicken, pork, beef bones for broth. Famous nabemono like wagyu sukiyaki or shabu shabu, rare annual treats for foreigners. But among daily miso soups, tanjiru reigns supreme. Come late autumn, Japanese drink tanjiru with pork slices, potatoes, daikon, carrots, burdock root, plus tofu, fried tofu, and konnyaku. Basically, any winter harvested vegetable goes in. At Teishokuya restaurants, add 100 yen, approximately 5 Chinese yuan, to upgrade regular miso soup to tonjiru. Tonjiru is also many Japanese people's childhood memory. During group activities like hiking, tonjiru appears almost as often as curry rice. As the book says, Japanese folks get satisfied with just 2 rice balls and a bowl of tonjiru. Finally, let's talk about oden. Many convenience stores in China now sell oden. In Tokyo, mobile oden stalls used to cater to drinkers, so prices were steep. Those stalls are rare now, but convenience stores sell oden most of the year, about 100 yen, approximately 5 Chinese yuan, per skewer. Eaten as a main meal, it gets pricey. So the author makes homemade oden on stay-home days. Morning prep. Soak kombu until soft, tie into bows, simmer with konnyaku in a clay pot. Meanwhile, boil eggs and steam daikon in another pot. Add them to the clay pot with mirin and soy sauce. Next, blanch store-bought fish cakes in hot water to remove oil, add to pot. Simmer gently, never boil, to avoid mushiness. Come dinner time, add beef tendon skewers. Bring to near boil, then turn off heat. Steaming hot oden is ready. We've covered a year of dining for an ordinary Tokyo family. For Japanese, food carries strong seasonality, like cod in winter, sori in autumn. Late August usually brings Miyagi Prefecture sari, but global warming may be disrupting this. The year the book was written, sori were scarce and tiny, 350 yuan, approximately 18 CNY each, triple the usual price. Domestic salmon typically arrives October to November, yet autumn salmon appeared by late August that year. Clearly, warming waters alter fish migration, and, as the author wrote, COVID-19 brought new uncertainties. In the preface, what will the world be like next year or beyond? Hard to predict. So why not cherish each day and every meal? So, after hearing Arai Hifumi's Tokyo food stories, what are your thoughts? Feel free to leave us comments below. What should we eat this year? All right, that wraps up our interpretation for today. Reading notes are below the audio. See you next episode.